TEDx, putting this kind of an initiative, where inviting people to share their ideas, share their experience. I think what is more important for us today is to understand what actions that people have taken, right? And of course, my thinking, my perspective towards climate change is a little bit different, which definitely I would like to share and encourage people to listen to that. And if they feel appropriate, I think I would request and encourage people to implement it. And this is what I have done in last 18, 19 years, and I would like to continue along with the new generation, next generation. So before we start talking about climate change, uh, let me first talk about, because I was reading a couple of nice sentence a few days back, and I definitely like to quote for that. What I believe that people will forget what you said very easily. People will forget what you do, because then there are a lot of people who will be doing a lot of things. But people will always remember how you do it and how you did it. So what does it mean is that what action makes the difference in your perspective. So I think we'll be more focusing towards action. We should be focusing on action-oriented approach. And this is exactly what I have done in my life. So let me give you a completely different perspective over towards climate change, because everyone knows it, that climate has changed, right? Everyone is being witnessing day in, day out. We've been hearing about a lot of flood, been learning about earthquake, we've been talking about storms. Our life is completely uncertain. And what we name is climate change. Now, there are a couple of questions we must ask ourselves first. Do we really see that climate has changed automatically? Was it a natural phenomenon, or someone has changed it? Well, I would say it is us, human, who has made those changes, who has made those climate, who has made those Mother Earth into difficult situation today, because of which Mother Earth is reacting differently. Mother Nature is reacting differently, what we named as climate change, right? We need to ask the question, those causes, who has done it? All those toxic in the air, who has created, right? It is us. We don't need to blame anyone. We don't need to blame the system. We don't need to blame political system, government, people. No, it is us as individual, you, me, and people listening here. So it's a high time now today. We need to really act upon. We really need to take action. I mean, if you just click in a Google button, you will come to know all the data, all the numbers about climate change, because I think technology is helping us so much today that all the research agencies today in the world, there are great leaders, non-government organizations, non-profit organizations are doing a lot of research on this area. So I'm not going to talk about those numbers here, because that numbers is just a click of a button away for you guys. What I'm going to talk about today is how I made a difference in last 19 years. I'm going to talk about how my associated company has made a difference in last 26 years, right? So, I think it's a basic thing. We humans are surrounded, and we humans are actually made out of 5 elements. And we all know those 5 elements is air, water, earth, and metal. So we really need to see those natural resources, okay? Who made it absolutely non-drinkable water today is again us. Water was giving us a life, but today water is as good as poison for us. Air, where we need to breathe oxygen, today we are breathing CO2, right? We need to see, we have started digging our earth so much because of our greediness, because of our materialistic thing, our wishes, our aspirations, that we are running out of natural resources in the earth. All the coal minings, all the metals which are being used for a different purpose now, right? Just imagine if in our blood, if those iron is not there, what will happen to our body? It is exactly the same which is happening today in the planet Earth. We really need to understand the whole ecosystem today, right? It's not 1 or 2 years or 3 years contribution towards this kind of a climate change. It's basically our way of living. It is basically our way of thinking. I think over a period of time, we as a human become so selfish. We only take care, we only want to think about ourselves, my home, my family. That's it. But who will think about our society? Okay. We have many times have seen we like to clean ourselves, our house very clean and neat and clean. But we'll never put an effort to look at surrounding, look at neighborhood, whether we are living in such kind of a neighborhood, do we really need to come together, make it clean as a society? So these are the questions, we need to really answer now. I believe that today the greatest threat on our planet is the belief that we believe that someone else will come and fix the problem for us. Sorry, friends, this is not going to happen. We have been waited for so long. We believe that someone else, corporation will come, clean up my rubbish outside my home. We believe that some agency will come and clean our holy rivers today in India. It is not going to work. It is not going to be sustainable for a long time. We need to take oath. We need to take those actions. And I think today, and those questions were going on in my mind as well when I was as a student studying my master's in Melbourne, Australia. I, of course, graduated from Swinburne Institute of Technology in Australia. All those questions, when I completed my master's in 2002, I had no clue where I'm going to make my career. Absolutely had no clue. But those questions actually gave me a path. Those questions gave me a direction where I should contribute, where I should look forward. And that's the day when I started to decide that I'm going to contribute, I'm going to make my career in the area of renewable energy. Of course, renewable energy is just one tiny piece of that solution that we are talking about today. We are talking about larger cause, right? And of course, I had decided to contribute towards renewable energy and company where we started this journey 25 years ago. And I really admire my chairman, and great visionary, Mr. Tulsi Tanti. I mean, today he is very famous in India. Today he is very well known change champion in the world. He made that decision. He took that action and transformed the whole company towards a renewable energy area. I think through Suzlon, we created a completely different dimension to this global cause. Now today, if we talk about Suzlon, through Suzlon, what we have done, we have installed 19 gigawatt worth of green power through wind energy. What does it mean to the earth? With this 19 gigawatt of installation today, we have saved 40 millions of CO2 emission. Just imagine that. We have powered with green power millions of houses in India and abroad. We have spread it across our footprint in 19 countries. So it's not only a company perspective that Mr. Tanti has decided to go for, but it is basically a solution to the world that he always thought for. And this is exactly what I also been part of since 19 years. And I really admire the vision. I really admire his way of doing. And that is something which, I, as a young leader, decided to contribute. And this is what I've done. So I think we really need to see what all contributions that we can come together and make a big difference. Because I believe that small acts, if we multiply with millions of people that we have on planet Earth, it's going to transform the whole world. Now, people are talking about we don't have budget, we don't have money, it requires a lot of funding. We again depend on government or political system. But just think about it. Just let me give you one example. We have approximately 7 billion people on this planet. If I take only 30% of that 7 billion, which is 2.1 billion, and of those 2.1 billion people, if they decide to contribute $1 a day and put it aside, you have $2.1 billion today available with you. Does it really a big problem to solve? Just think about what can be done with such kind of a thinking. The problem is that we are not coming together. We discuss a lot. We have a lot of conferences going on. We really want to give a lot of statistical approach to this problem. But I believe, and this is my personal belief, that we really need to take action now. We really need to important to look at those ecosystem. We really need to understand what are we going to leave for our next generation. Are we going to breathe with CO2, or are we going to make them breathe with O2, right? Because I think what is important today is what you do, it makes a difference. But what is important for you guys, how and what difference that you are going to make. So I would definitely encourage, of course, I mean, this is a topic where we can go on for hours and hours, but I would say, I would like to spread that message to millions of people who would be looking at this. And I think those are the generation to take it forward. Let's take an oath today. Let's contribute the way, whatever little contribution that we can think of today in the area of renewable energy, in the area of water, in the area of whatever technology, which can protect our Mother Earth, which can protect our Mother Nature. This is the only solution, and that solution will only come from human if we come together as one. Well, this is what my perception I thought would be appropriate for all of you to understand, and this is how I grown. And generally, whenever I introduce myself outside, I say I born and brought up with the company, because this is my day in, day out thinking, and which keeps me continuously alive for those questions which I had in my mind in 1999. I am still not able to resolve those questions, but at least I am feeling proud today that with one area, with one solution, that is through renewable energy, we are making a big difference. We are making a big difference. I made a big difference, and I'm sure you guys are also going to make a huge difference in future. So I think we can be succeeded in all the different areas, but I think this is our social responsibility. This is the basic, at least we can do. Let's protect ourselves. Let's protect our Mother Nature, because if we protect them, it is going to protect our next generation to come. So friends, I thought this is what I'm going to spread across my message through my experience. Of course, I would always say this little experience of 19 years. I'm looking forward for a bigger contribution, and I am committed to that. And I'm also encouraging everyone, all of us, to let's unite towards this global cause and don't depend on the system and political system. Thank you so much.